back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be doing another story time video. I honestly cannot remember the last time I actually filmed a story time video, and I have told a lot of my stories, like my wild stories, my crazy stories. I've already done videos on those, but I always had this one that was always kind of just sitting in the back of my mind, and I was like, at first when it happened, I was like, oh my gosh, this would make such a funny story time. But then I was like, this one is actually kind of embarrassing and like a little bit personal. Like, I don't think I'm going to. So like the last 3 years, I've never made a video on it, but I've always had this story in the back of my mind. And recently I did a Q&A here on my channel, and someone asked me about storytime videos. And I told you guys that I had this one story, but I wasn't sure if I was going to make a video on it. Well, alas, here we are, and I think I'm going to do it. If this video gets uploaded, like, I'm shocked. Now, it's not anything like, that I need to go bury my head in the sand for, but it is a little embarrassing because it is, something very personal to like me and my partner's, sex life. And that kind of thing, I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like that kind of stuff is very like personal, it's like, and I don't like to talk about or do those kind of things like publicly, you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it, but this story actually involves another party, and someone who saw something that they weren't supposed to. And we're going to talk about it. So this actually happened soon after I moved into my current townhouse. So I want to say this was about 2.5, 3 years ago, something like that. The exact date, escapes me, but it was soon after I moved in here, right? And me and my partner were in, somewhat of a new relationship where things were, fresh and exciting, and, we were like rabbits all the time, and you know how it is, the honeymoon phase. If you know, you know. We decided to one day, just to kind of spice things up, we decided to go to a XXX store, okay? One of those. I'm trying to be as like PG as possible so I don't get demonetized, but we went to a specific store where they sell specific things for specific things, and we decided to go. Like, why not, like, have a little day of it, go check it out, see what they have, maybe we find something fun. And these stores are nothing to be ashamed about. I actually fully support these stores because they actually have a lot of things in there that can, like, spice up your sex life. You know what I mean? Like, they have a lot of cool stuff in there. So we decided to go. We were looking at everything. We were kind of giggling, making jokes, like, just checking out the whole store. Well, we, made a couple purchases, and we ended up spending a certain amount that we got a free gift. And this free gift was how do I describe this? It's a vibrating thing, okay? It vibrates. I think that's all I can say. So we were like, cool, awesome. Well, let me just tell you, this specific free item we got, we did not have to pay for it at all. This free item we got ended up being our all-time favorite thing of life. Like, we love this thing so much, okay? Like, not to be TMI, but this thing was awesome and it was free. So we decided, that weekend we were gonna try everything out. The next Monday, we went to work, okay? Now, where this whole story kind of kicks off is, soon after I moved here, my bathrooms, like, how bathrooms have like that square fan on top of the ceiling and it has like the little covering? Well, when I first moved here, my upstairs bathroom fan, it didn't have a covering on it. So it was basically just like an exposed hole in my ceiling. And I brought it up to my office and I was like, hey, like, I have had this hole in my ceiling. Like, I don't have a fan cover, can we get this handled? And they were like, oh yeah, we have to order one. And then once it gets ordered, we'll come and put it up for you. So I was like, cool, awesome. So I scheduled that Monday afternoon to have my maintenance guy come in and put that fan covering up so I didn't have a giant ugly exposed hole in my bathroom. Well, Sunday night when we were like done and going to bed for Monday morning, we washed this item. It was not dirty, it was washed, and we left it on the upstairs bathroom sink. Okay, just in plain fucking view. So, and we didn't think about it. We woke up Monday morning and we got ready and we went to work and we just left this thing on the counter. It was purple. We left this purple thing just on the counter and we went to work. Well, I came home from work first and still did not remember that this purple thing was sitting on the counter. And my maintenance guy, as I'm getting out of my car, he walks up and he's like, hey, I have that fan covering for you. Do you want me to come install it real quick? And I was like, oh yes, that would be great, because I have been looking at this giant hole in my ceiling for at least almost 6 months, okay? Like, it was atrocious. At first, like, I didn't say anything to the office people because I don't like people coming into my home, you know? But finally, I was like, you know, I should probably say something. So, yeah, but I was really excited to not have this giant hole in my ceiling anymore, and there was gonna be a nice brand new cover to cover it. And, you know, I let him inside and I was like, he's like, is it the downstairs or the upstairs bathroom? I'm like, it's the one upstairs. Still not remembering or thinking that there is a vibrating purple personal item sitting on my counter where he's about to go. Do you see where this is going? And I stayed downstairs because I had my dogs, both my dogs at the time, and I was taking them to the bathroom. I was, you know, getting ready to feed them because it was about that time of the day. And, you know, I could hear them clanking around up there and, you know, putting the fan cover up or whatever. And my maintenance guy is very nice. He's very personable. He's very talkative, you know, would love to have a conversation with you. And, you know, on the way to my apartment before he came in, you know, we were talking, shooting the shit. And then he kind of comes downstairs very, very quickly. And he was like, all right, you're all set. Have a good day. And like just walks out. And I thought that was so weird. I was like, gosh, he kind of like left here in a hurry. Like, I hope everything's okay. I hope everything went okay up there. You know, kind of thinking like, gosh, did I say something? Like, he doesn't usually just run out of here like that. Usually he'll, you know, talk some more. So he kind of just like scurried along and left really, really quick. So after I get my dogs settled, they're eating, I'm like, ooh, I'm so excited. I get to go check out my new fan. Like, you know, being an adult, right? Like, ooh, new appliances or new home things, you know? So I was like, oh, I cannot wait to see this fan covering on the ceiling and I don't have to look at that hole and it's going to be beautiful. So I start to walk upstairs and I turn the light on and I'm like admiring, you know, the brand new fan cover and how like much more put together my bathroom looks. I'm like, wow. And then as I turn to leave, as soon as I turn to leave and walk out of the bathroom, I see this big purple vibrating thing on my sink that we put there the night before. Just sitting there in plain sight. And it was literally like sitting on like a towel because like we washed it and then just like set it on the counter to like dry or whatever. And yeah, just sitting there just very nicely on a nice towel. There is this bedroom toy, you know, and I instantly my heart fell into my ass, because if there is anything that I like loathe the most is embarrassing myself or having something embarrassing happen to me or having someone see something that they shouldn't have seen. Oh my God. So like instantly I felt like I was going to throw up and I was like, oh my God, that's why he left here in such a hurry, because he just saw what I did the night before. I was humiliated. And I called my boyfriend and I was like, hey, our fan cover got put in, and he was like, oh, awesome, how does it look? And I was like, it looks great. And he was like, what's the matter? And I was like, he just saw blank, because we have a name for this. I'm not gonna tell you guys the name because that's pushing it. But I was like, yeah, he saw, you know, so-and-so. And he was like, what do you mean he saw it? Like, how could he possibly have seen it? And I was like, because we left it on the bathroom counter last night and didn't put it away in the morning before we went to work. He just started busting out laughing because like my boyfriend doesn't get embarrassed about that kind of stuff, whereas me, I want to just die. So I'm like on the verge of tears. My stomach is in my butt, knowing that my maintenance guy now knows what I use in the bedroom, and he's just laughing and laughing. And I told my mom that same story and she started busting out laughing. Like, everyone thinks it's funny, but I was so incredibly mortified. I just could not like come to terms with what the fuck just happened. And I'm not kidding you guys, for like, honestly, still to this day, like even years later, every time I see him, that's the first thing that comes to my head is like, does he remember what he saw? Like, did he know what he saw? You know what I mean? Because like, you had to have known like what that was, right? Like, there's no mistaking what that was. I mean, maybe if you're like really, really sheltered and you honestly have no idea about XXX toys, like maybe you don't know, but like, I mean, it's enough, you know, it's enough to be like, I know what that is. You know what I mean? So like, and honestly, for like 6 months to a year after like this situation happened, I couldn't even look my maintenance guy in the eye. Like every time I saw him, I like put my head down and just like ran inside. Like I couldn't even talk to him. And like even now, like years later, like every time he comes in here to like fix something, or every time I talk to him, like I always think about that. I'm always like, oh my God, does he like remember like what he saw? It was so incredibly embarrassing. It was one of the most humiliating things that ever happened to me, knowing that he was up in my bathroom, putting on this cover, just looking down and being like, oh my God. And I mean, there is a silver lining, is thank motherfucking God it was clean. Could you imagine if I didn't clean it? I would have literally changed my name and left the country, honestly. Like, oh my God, so embarrassing. So very quickly, I put that vibrating purple thing, I put it away, and I was like, I don't want to look at it for a while. Like, I'm so embarrassed. I cannot believe this happened. You know, even now, every once in a great while, when we like take it out of the box or whatever, I still kind of giggle because I'm like, haha, I love this thing, but at the same time, this is really embarrassing because I know like there's a story with you now. Like, oh my God, just such a mess. So that is the story, my most embarrassing, most humiliating story of what my maintenance guy saw in my bathroom that he was not supposed to see. Like, oh, my stomach right now is just like in knots talking about it again. I haven't told this story in like a really, really long time. I know a lot of people probably won't find this embarrassing. They'll probably find it funny, but to me, it's just like, oh my gosh, like this wasn't supposed to happen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to this, because I just want to crawl in a hole and die because of the fact that I even filmed this and talked about it, because I honestly was going to take this to the grave with me and I wasn't going to tell anybody, because like, oh, that kind of thing is just so humiliating to me. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, go down, give me a great big humble thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications. I will have a vlog coming very soon here on my channel. I love you guys so much. If you have any funny, embarrassing stories that kind of relate to this and you feel comfortable enough sharing, go ahead and share them down in the comments below. Let's laugh together. Why not? I love you guys, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye. Mwah.